Okay, this is my very first DIY video. The problem here is I need a ramp, and I don't really want wood. Actually, wood would just be a nightmare to try to fit this in. So it's going to be a concrete ramp, I hope. Well, it will be. Let's see how well it works. But you can see it wants to go from the deck of this shed, and this shed is, why is this funny looking shed here? Well, it used to be a archery backstop, but now the kids are grown, no more archery, and I'm turning it into a place to store some garden tools like a lawnmower and stuff that's reasonably heavy, so I want it to be able to roll up there. So to the right you see that, I don't know, that might be about 2 feet that the thing's going to span to get from the deck to the path. And then over here on the left, I don't know, that might be 5 feet. So this is going to be a nightmare to form. And it's a ramp, so, which I've never done a concrete ramp. I haven't done much concrete. And a ramp is also going to be sort of a pain. So we'll see how we do. Never done anything quite like this. And I will come back after it's all formed up and sort of talk through what I did. Okay, here's the solution for forming this ramp. This is you can see I got these 2 pie-shaped pieces of OSB. It's 1/2 inch OSB. It's flexible enough to sort of twist because the slopes of those two, at some point I'll measure these slopes. They're quite different. So you can see that one's not clamped down. You have to twist it to get it to fit on the form. And these are flexible enough to twist, but they also bow a lot when you put any weight on them. So I got to figure out a way to maybe support the middle a little bit. And I guess that'll be the next step in this project of getting these forms. But I got the forms cut. They fit, and I'll have to do something up by the top there. But it's progress. Okay, I think I figured out how I can make this ramp with these varying angles. So I got some of this stuff here, what do you call it, Unistrut. It's not really Unistrut because Unistrut's expensive. It's whatever they sell at Lowe's. And what's nice is you can get these angle things. And you can attach it to the wood. And you see, it doesn't have to be like totally square or anything like that. You can just it has some degrees of freedom. So it can sort of average out the angle between this side and the other side. And then I got these, pie-shaped pieces of OSB. It's a 1/2 inch or something like that. It's not super strong. And of course it can't span that distance without sagging terribly, so, which is why the Unistrut's down there. And then I got these 2x4 supports, and because I want to take this all apart at the end, I just got them attached with these cleats. So I'll be able to unattach the Unistrut from the outside, somehow tap it out of there one way or another, and then these boards will just be loose under there. You just somehow grab them out of there. Shouldn't be too hard. And that is the current plan. And then I'm going to get these pie-shaped things attached shortly, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so here I got the form. I think this is going to work. Now this is a ramp, and what I don't want is the concrete to just go everywhere. And you can see there's this big gap, and I debated how I would solve the problem of making the concrete go down to like this sort of footing along the pathway here, but not just flow under and capture all this formwork so that it basically becomes permanent part of the ramp. So what I'm going to do is I got a couple bags of, I'll show those to you later when I mix them up. A couple bags of Quikrete mortar, not Quikrete, the Rapid Set stuff. And I'm going to make a dam that seals all these openings. The one under there, so, and I'll just make it even with the bottom of the form so that the concrete can't leak out when I build the ramp. And then if we go over there, there's a tiny little gap. That one doesn't amount to much. And then of course, this big old gap underneath the platform, the bottom of the form. That I'm going to make a little dam out of mortar, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, it's not quite what I envisioned because it doesn't go all the way up to the board, but the stuff sets back. It gets really hard to work, but it doesn't look, it looks like it'll be okay. I think I will need just one more. Maybe I'll do a fiber reinforced coat and just sort of fill out that last gap. Maybe I can get a backer rod or something in there for keep it on this side of the little wall, but it's not terrible. So as it started to get really hard, I carved like a little cliff there. So that's like, that must be 6 or 7 inches tall. It's pretty much the limit, I think, of what this stuff's supposed to be able to do. Not bad, not great, not bad. This stuff's not the easiest in the world to work with. You know, if you don't do this every day, you know, you probably don't have the knack for it like I don't. But you live and learn. Okay, I think I'm ready to, just about ready to pour. I got my rebar. I wet down the footing area. I've got a selection of floats hanging out. Got a big long screed to strike it off. I've got my 20-year-old, at least 20-year-old Harbor Freight concrete vibrator. Okay, I have 800 pounds of concrete, 5,000 psi. I've got some plasticizer. I've got some fiber reinforcement all measured out. And I've got my concrete mixer. It's running. So all that's left to do is put some form release in there and start mixing and placing, I'm pretty sure. What else? Oh yeah, form release, here we go. We'll see if this stuff works. It's like the concrete vibrator, it's over 20 years old. But you know, you don't really like to throw this stuff away, so we'll see. I mean, it looks fine. It's still milky, like, you know, it's supposed to be an emulsion. It's still milky, so that's going to be the form release. And I guess I'll try to do a time lapse of the actual placing and whatnot. So here goes nothing. Haven't done any concrete flat work in over 20 years, and not a lot at that. So here goes nothing. I don't really know how to finish this video or this series. Anyway, this is the ramp. Got the forms all stripped. I will, if I had somebody to take the video for me, I'd show me standing on it. Anyway, it's been out here for weeks. You can see it ended up being about 3.5 inches thick. It's supported at this end with sort of a footing. It's supported at the top where it abuts the shed. There's a piece of unistrut that's bolted to the shed that it sort of rests on, which I don't think I took a good video of or pointed it out when in the forming part of this, but that's what keeps the top from sliding down, I hope. And we'll see what happens long term. I suppose the shed could someday slide backwards and it would come off its little shelf. Worry about that if it happens. Anyway, it came out pretty good. You know, is it perfect? No, you can see the finish isn't super uniform, but it was hard enough just getting concrete to stay put on this kind of a slope. But it does work. I mean, you can walk up it. It hasn't cracked at all, as far as I can tell. You know, the edge, I didn't quite vibrate it enough. You can see there's a little bit of gaps. And, you know, up at the top here, yeah, did that finish fantastic? Not really, not fantastic, but good enough for, you know, for an amateur. And that should be serviceable. I'm not going to worry too much about it. Anyway, that's it. That's the thing. Terrible sort of first project to sort of do a DIY video on because it was really freaking hard. But on the other hand, if you stick with this stuff, you can get it done.